Hi everyone, welcome back to Test Maestro. Today we are diving deep into one of the most tricky grammar topics for the digital essay: period, semicolon, and comma plus fanboys usage. If you've ever been stuck trying to figure out when to use a semicolon or how a comma with fanboys fits in, you're definitely not alone. A lot of students struggle with distinguishing between these punctuation marks, and let's be real, it can get confusing when you're under time pressure. But don't worry, because in this video we are going to break it down step by step. I'm going to show you some clear rules and strategies to tackle these punctuation questions so that you will never second guess yourself again. And if you stick with me until the end, I've got a special bonus for you, a quick hack that can instantly help you identify these errors, saving you precious time on the test. Ready? Let's jump right in. Now, a few things that we'll be covering up in this particular video is period is equal to semicolon. We'll try to understand this particular rule. Then we'll move on to strong transitions. Then we'll move on to comma plus fanboys. And lastly, we'll see comma splices. Remember, this is going to be just a part of the comma usage rules. There are many other ways how you can use a comma in a particular sentence, which we'll be covering up later in the videos. But for this particular video, we'll be focusing on period, semicolon, and comma plus fanboys rules specifically. Now let's go ahead and understand what the question stem is going to be like. The question stem for this particular type is always going to be the same. It's fairly simple. The moment you see the mention of conventions of standard English, you should know you're going to deal with the punctuation question. With this, let's see the first rule. The first rule is that period is equal to semicolon. Now understand this, very simply put, wherever you can use a period, you will be able to use a semicolon as well. Both of them can connect two independent statements, or you can also call them two complete statements. The usage is exactly the same. The only distinction is that a capital letter follows a period. You will use a capital alphabet after a period. But when it comes to a semicolon, we do not use a capital letter, right? We use a small case or a lowercase letter. Otherwise, the usage is pretty much the same. Let's look at the example. Tomatoes are popular in many culinary dishes. This is sentence 1. Then we have a period. They are grown by farmers worldwide. This is the sentence 2, and there's a period that you can see over here. In the same place, you can use a semicolon as well. The same sentence, tomatoes are popular in many culinary dishes. They are grown by farmers worldwide. So wherever you can use a period, you can use a semicolon as well. Now let us go ahead and see strong transitions. What are they? These are basically some conjunctive words. Words like however, therefore, consequently, moreover, nevertheless, meanwhile, instead. There are some examples of these strong transitions words. Now, key point is that in grammar questions, the right structure is a semicolon plus transition or a period plus transition. So something like this, a semicolon and a however, or a however, and in this case you have a period because they are interchangeable. But there are some ways that you can use a however other than this in a sentence. We'll see that as well. Now look at the example. Now first example, now this is incorrect and I'll tell you the reason why. Let's read this. The tomato is one of the most popular salad ingredients, and then we have a comma, another comma, and however in between. It is actually a fruit. Now you can place however in between two commas, but there is one condition. If you remove the however, the sentence should make complete logical and grammatical sense. Grammatically, it should still be correct. Now, if you read this sentence without however, it should make sense. That is what I'm trying to say in simple words. Let's read the sentence without however. The tomato is one of the most popular salad ingredients. It is actually a fruit. It is looking like there are two complete sentences which are joined together, right? If I remove however, it's just that two complete sentences are put together without any punctuation in between. Now that's going to be definitely incorrect, right? So whenever however is placed between two commas, you should be able to eliminate however from the sentence, and the sentence should still make complete grammatical and logical sense. Now, how do I correct this mistake? Like if I can't place this however in between two commas, what do I have to do? I simply have to put a semicolon where the sentence is ending, and when you start another sentence, you're starting with however, so you put a comma after it. Right? So if you read it, the tomato is one of the most popular salad ingredients. That's sentence 1. So I will end the sentence with a period or even a semicolon, right? Period and a semicolon. And then I'm going to begin my sentence, that is, however, it is actually a fruit. I hope you understood how the transitions are working around with the punctuations when it comes to semicolon period. All you need to remember is wherever the sentence is ending, if there are two complete sentences, wherever the sentence is ending, you can put a period or a semicolon there. Right? Now, with this, let's also understand a quick tip that will help you run around these transition questions very easily. Now, when you're reading a sentence, when it has transitions or anything, make sure that you read from the start of the sentence. It's extremely important for you to know where the sentence is starting from and where the sentence is ending, right? This will help you identify where you need to put a period or a semicolon in a sentence. Sometimes what seems like the end of a sentence is a part of the next one. So you have to be careful here. Make sure you're starting the sentence, you're reading the sentence from the start and identifying where it's ending to know where to put a period and a semicolon. Alright. When you're stuck, always check the options that includes periods or semicolons. Now, when it comes to option elimination, specifically in punctuations, I want you to start eliminating the options which have periods or semicolons first, right? Identify if whatever you're reading is a complete sentence or not. That identification is much easier than identifying where a comma should be placed. So if an option is given to you with a period or a semicolon in it, quickly try to eliminate that option. See if you're able to eliminate that option by reading the sentence and identifying where the sentence is starting from and where the sentence is ending at. Correct? So try and eliminate the options with periods or semicolons first and then move on to the options with other punctuations in it. Alright, let's see the third rule, that is comma plus fanboys. Before we take up the rule for this, you have to remember what fanboys are, right? It's for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. If you don't know the full form of fanboys, make sure that you're writing a note on that. Now, what is the usage of comma plus fanboys? Complete sentences can be joined by using a comma followed by one of the fanboys. Now, earlier we saw that you can join two complete sentences with the help of a period. You can join two complete sentences with the help of a semicolon. And this rule says that you can join two complete sentences with the help of a comma plus fanboys. Right? This is the rule. Now, let's understand a few limitations here. What can you do or what can you not? Before that, let's quickly see an example. The cat chased the mouse. The dog followed closely behind. Now, there is no punctuation here when I know clearly that the first sentence is ending here. The cat chased the mouse. The second sentence is the dog followed closely behind. These are two complete sentences. You definitely need some punctuation, either put a period or a semicolon or use a comma and or comma fanboys. Now, the only conjunction that would make sense over here is and, because there is no contradiction or no reasoning or no such kind of a understanding given. So it makes sense to say that the cat chased the mouse, comma, and, which is as good as a period or a semicolon over here. The dog followed closely behind, right? This is how you can use comma plus fanboys. Now, some rules again. Let's go back to the rules that we need to know when it comes to comma plus fanboys. Fanboys conjunction should never be used after a period or semicolon. In simple words, you can never start a sentence with a fanboys, right? And we know a new sentence can start off after a period or after a semicolon. So you will never place a fanboys after any of these two punctuations, right? So it's incorrect. Let's look at this incorrect sentence. The cat chased the mouse, period, and the dog followed closely behind. Like the rule just said, you cannot start a sentence with fanboys, so a period and is definitely going to be wrong. How do I correct this? I will simply put either I'll remove this and just put a period, right? Or I can just go for a semicolon, or I can go for a comma and, right? This is something that we can do. Similarly, there's a period that goes wrong, so a semicolon will always go wrong, right? I hope you understood this one. Let's read ahead. Now, when a comma is used to join two independent clauses, the result is called a comma splice. Remember this rule by heart. This is the most important rule. You can never join two complete sentences with the help of only a comma. You can definitely use a comma plus fanboys, but you can't just have one comma between two complete sentences. That's called as a comma splice. Now look at an example. The dogs ran across the field. This is sentence 1. The sun was setting behind them. This is sentence 2. And what do you have in between? You have a comma. This is a comma splice. Absolutely wrong. And this is highly tested on the SATs, so please remember this particular rule by heart. How do I correct this? The dogs ran across the field, put a period, right? These are two complete sentences, put a period, put a semicolon, put a comma, conjunction, anything you want, but not a comma for sure, right? Okay, now how do I fix a comma splice? Like I just mentioned, use a period. The dogs ran across the field, period. The sun was setting behind them, sentence 1 and sentence 2. You can also put a semicolon. You can also use a comma conjunction. This is how you can correct a comma splice on the test as well, right? All you need to remember is, how do I join two complete sentences? Two complete sentences can be joined with the help of a period, semicolon, or a comma conjunction, comma fanboys conjunction, right? And you can never put a comma between two complete sentences, just comma between two complete sentences. That can't be done, right? Now look at this comma splice example. The wind was strong, sentence 1. It knocked over the sign, sentence 2. You've put a comma over here, which means there's a comma splice. Absolutely incorrect. Correction, put a period between them, put a semicolon between them, or put a comma conjunction between them, comma fanboys between them. Or, now this is a new method that you'll be seeing, correction with dependent clause, right? Now what I'm going to do is, I'm simply converting one complete sentence into incomplete. Now read this, while the wind was strong. Now when you say while the wind was strong, it is not a complete sentence, right? It feels like there needs to be more information. Now you don't have a complete sentence anymore, you have an incomplete sentence. Now you can put a comma. Now, what kind of a sentence do you have? You have an incomplete sentence and then you have a complete sentence. It knocked over the sign. That's a complete sentence. You can put a comma between one incomplete and one complete sentence. Where you can't put a comma between is two complete sentences, right? So two complete sentences, a comma in between is going to be wrong. One incomplete, one complete, or one complete, one incomplete, you can definitely put a comma in between. This is all that I want you to know. Before you leave the video, just remember this rule. Semicolon is equal to period. The usage is absolutely the same. And period is equal to comma plus fanboys. The usage for all the three punctuations is going to be the same. That's all for now. Thank you.